Music royalties. If you are an independent musician or you're making music online and putting it out there on the internet, there is not a one-stop shop to collect all your royalties. Consequently, it makes it difficult to sometimes understand how you get all these royalties for your music, where do you collect them all, and who do you go to. But in this video, I'm going to show you what entities you can sign up for so you're not going to lose out on any of your music royalties. So at the end of the video, you'll be ready to go, and as an independent or DIY musician, you'll be signed up to be getting all your music royalties.
I gotta put my hand up and admit it. Think I really might have blown it.
The royalties that we're going to cover in this video are mechanical royalties, sync royalties, performance royalties, and the YouTube content ID royalties as well. Those are the bulk royalties that are going to cover most of your ground. Let's start at the beginning. In order for you to collect royalties, you need to make sure that you own the copyright of the song that is collecting these royalties. Traditionally speaking, if you sit at your kitchen table and write a song and put lyrics and melody together with music in a fixed manner, right there at your kitchen table, you will have generated copyright for that song. Let's say you don't register it with a copyright office, you can still go ahead and collect all your music royalties. It's not going to get in the way of the collection of the music royalties. However, if your song gets big or someone tries to steal your song and it ends up going to court, you're going to want to have your back covered to say you actually own the copyright, so then you can continue to collect these music royalties. The first type of music royalties are performance royalties. The only way to collect performance royalties are to register with a performing rights organization. If you're in the United States, popular ones are ASCAP, BMI, or CSAC. If you're in Canada, the only one is SOCAN, and there's different performing rights organizations in different countries. So it's as simple as going to the performance rights organization's website, signing up, registering your songs. The performing rights organizations will collect royalties on your behalf for any live broadcast. So if your song is played on terrestrial radio like AM or FM radio, if your song is played on TV, if you're in the IKEA doing some shopping and you hear your song being played on the intercom, if you play in a live venue, all of these events trigger a royalty. The performing rights organization will collect those royalties for you and give that to you. Now, number 2 for music royalties. I mentioned that performing rights organizations only collect those royalties for your country. So, for example, I'm a singer-songwriter and I'm registered with SOCAN. So if my song is played on Canadian radio or in the Canadian IKEAs, SOCAN will collect those royalties for me. So how do I make sure that I collect the royalties that are being played in other countries and all over the world and different continents and that I might not even know of? Maybe my song is played in the Swedish IKEA, or maybe my song is played on TV in Asia somewhere. Sometimes that can happen. People pick up your songs and then play them on random outlets. So you want to make sure that you have those royalties covered, and if your song is played in one of those outlets, that you're getting paid for it. And so SOCAN, for example, or your local performing rights organization in your country, they won't collect international royalties for you. So in order to get those international music royalties, all you have to do is sign up for an international admin publishing company. So an example of an international admin publishing company, you can go with something like Songtrust. So they'll have all the network and the connections to all the performing rights organizations all over the world, and they'll be collecting those rights for you once you go to Songtrust and sign up for it. Songtrust is not free. There is about a $100 sign-up fee, and then they will withhold about 15% of those royalties that they collect. And yeah, that's not ideal, but the only alternative really is for you to be calling all the performing rights organizations around the world in every single country and collecting those royalties on your behalf. It's something you can absolutely do if you want to keep the 100% of your royalties. However, that would take you many hours. That's performance royalties. Let's get into mechanical royalties. If you have released your music on CD Baby or TuneCore or DistroKid, AWOL, some of the popular music distributors, likely they will be collecting your mechanical royalties. So that revenue or that bank in your distributor's menu, those are mechanical royalties from Spotify and Apple Music and Deezer and the other music streaming services. Songtrust does also collect these mechanical royalties for you. So you can choose whether you want your music distributor to collect those or you want Songtrust to collect those. But you don't want to be collecting on both because that will just confuse everything and then you might not get anything. So only have Songtrust collect your mechanical royalties or your distributor. Each distributor has a different package on how they collect their mechanical royalties. Some distributors allow you to keep 100% of the mechanical royalties, but pay an upfront fee to distribute your music. Other distributors hold back a percentage of royalties in order to distribute your music for free. That's a subjective question and for you to answer on your own time. Okay, so that's mechanical royalties. The next type of royalty is non-interactive royalties. And these types of royalties are if your songs are being played around the world on satellite radio or satellite TV. It's a type of stream where the listener doesn't actually get to choose the song that they're being heard. It's just kind of going in a continuous playlist. And satellite radio and satellite TV are the most popular non-interactive royalties. So in order for you to collect these non-interactive royalties, let's say your song is being played on Sirius XM radio, you want to sign up for a free service called Sound Exchange. And so Sound Exchange is a nonprofit organization that will collect these non-interactive royalties for you. And it's as simple as going to soundexchange.com, registering your songs, making splits. If you do have splits, for example, if you had a co-writer on the song, maybe a producer has rights to the song, you want to make your splits on Sound Exchange, register the songs, and then they will start collecting those non-interactive royalties for you. Okay, so now that you have a performing rights organization, you're on Songtrust or another international admin publishing service, your music distributor is collecting your mechanical royalties for you, and you're on Sound Exchange and you have those non-interactive music royalties coming in. The last thing to have everything covered really is to make sure you are getting the YouTube Content ID monetization covered. This can happen through a few different ways. A lot of the time now, the music distributors are offering this as another added paid service. And sometimes it's not that expensive, so this could be a potential route for you. There are other services like Adium, for example, or Audium, and which will collect your YouTube Content ID monetization. In a nutshell, YouTube is a huge search engine, so people might take your song, upload it to their own videos and use it as background music, for example. And so YouTube has an algorithm. Basically, they crawl all of their YouTube videos and they can see what kind of music is on each video. And so if you sign up for a YouTube Content ID monetization service and someone in South America uses your song for their birthday party video, then YouTube will recognize that, hey, that's your song that someone is using. Would you like us to take that video down? Or would you like us to make sure if any ad revenue comes from that video, that it will be sent to you? And so you, as the author and creator of the song, you have the choice of saying, yes, tell the person in South America to take the video down because I don't want it connected to someone's birthday party. Or if it's a huge video, that could be great discovery for you. And you can also get any ad revenue that comes from that video. So that's your choice at the time when it comes. To have all your music royalties covered, I do suggest to look first into your music distributor and to see if they have a YouTube Content ID monetization royalty already offered, and likely they do. Now, if you have everything covered in this video, then you have basically 99% of all the music royalties covered at a global level for your songs. So you're not going to be missing out on anything. Let's say you haven't done this for songs that were released 2 years ago. That's okay. You can still go to all these platforms, sign up, get everything registered and in place, and you'll still be able to collect those royalties that from songs that were already released. It takes about 3 years until you cannot do that anymore. So if you have any royalties that aren't collected after 3 years, they will just, all that money will go into what is called a black box. And at the end of the year, they take that black box surplus of all those royalties that weren't collected for the last 3 years, and then give it to the top share of composers and songwriters, which are like all the pop stars in the world who are already making millions of dollars. So make sure you just sign up for all those platforms that I just mentioned, and you will be collecting the bulk, pretty much 99% of all your music royalties out there, and you'll be covered. Let me know what you think of this video. If I can be of any other help in regards to music royalties, put a comment below. I'm a singer-songwriter myself, so I'll leave a couple links to my music in the description below. Feel free to have a listen, and I'll see you in the next video.